In 1958, a computer scientist told the New York Times that a machine would soon be able to walk, talk, see, write, reproduce itself, and be conscious of its existence. That was 67 years ago. We are still waiting on most of that list. The history of AI is a story of enormous promises, spectacular failures, and then eventually breakthroughs that nobody saw coming. If you understand this pattern, you will be much better at evaluating what people are promising you about AI today. Right now, we are in the biggest AI hype cycle in history. Billions of dollars are being invested. Every company is adding AI to their products. Headlines are telling you that AI will transform everything. And some of that is true. But here is the thing. We have been here before, twice. And both times, the hype collapsed into what researchers call an AI winter. A period where funding dried up, companies failed, and people stopped believing. Understanding those winters does not mean AI is going to fail again. It means you can tell the difference between what is real this time and what is just history repeating itself. Let us walk through the key moments. I am going to keep this brief because the goal is not a history lecture. It is to show you the pattern. 1950, Alan Turing publishes a paper asking, "Can machines think?" He proposes the Turing test. If a machine can fool a human into thinking it is also human, maybe it is intelligent. This idea is still debated today. Now, if the name Alan Turing sounds familiar, you might know him from The Imitation Game, where Benedict Cumberbatch played him. That film focused on his World War II code-breaking work. But what it did not spend much time on was this. Turing was also the person who first asked whether machines could actually think. And that one question launched an entire field. And while Turing was asking that question from the science side, the idea of intelligent machines was already captivating the public imagination through science fiction. Isaac Asimov had been writing about robots and artificial intelligence since the 1940s. His book, I, Robot, explored what happens when machines start making their own decisions. Asimov even created the 3 laws of robotics, rules designed to keep AI safe, which engineers and ethicists still reference today. His Foundation series imagined a future where mathematics and computation could predict the behavior of entire civilizations. Science fiction was not just entertainment. It was laying the cultural groundwork for a field that did not officially exist yet, and then the field got a name. A group of scientists at Dartmouth College officially coined the term artificial intelligence. The 4 organizers were John McCarthy, a young mathematician, who came up with the term and later invented the programming language Lisp, Marvin Minsky, who would go on to co-found MIT's AI lab, Claude Shannon, the father of information theory, and Nathaniel Rochester, who designed IBM's first commercial computer, the 701. These 4 are considered the founding fathers of AI. They gathered about 20 researchers for an 8-week summer workshop, and they were wildly optimistic. They believed human-level AI was about 20 years away. They were wrong about the timeline, but they were right about the vision. Almost every major direction in AI research today, from neural networks to natural language processing, traces back to ideas discussed in that room. 1960s and 70s, real progress. Machines learned to play checkers, solve algebra problems, and hold basic conversations. The first chatbot, Eliza, makes people feel like they are talking to a therapist. Funding pours in, expectations soar. And then the first AI winter, the 1970s and 80s. Turns out those early systems could not scale. They worked on toy problems but fell apart in the real world. Funding gets cut, researchers get reassigned, the hype dies. In the 1990s and 2000s, AI quietly rebuilds. Machine learning emerges. Instead of programming rules by hand, researchers let machines learn from data. In 1997, IBM's Deep Blue beats world chess champion Garry Kasparov. It is a massive moment, but most people still do not think about AI in their daily lives. Then comes the deep learning revolution. 2012. A neural network crushes the competition in an image recognition contest. It is not even close. This is the moment the current era begins. 2016. Google's AlphaGo beats the world champion at Go, a game so complex that brute force computation cannot solve it. The machine learned strategies that humans had never discovered in thousands of years of playing. And then, November 2022, ChatGPT launches. And in 5 days, 100 million people try it. It is the fastest adoption of any technology in human history. Suddenly, everyone on Earth is talking about AI. The promise here is real. Each breakthrough built on the last. The compute power increased exponentially. The data available increased exponentially. The algorithms got smarter. And when all three came together, we got large language models that can write, code, translate, and reason at a level nobody predicted even 5 years ago. Now here's the part that should give you healthy skepticism. Not pessimism, just skepticism. Every single AI breakthrough I just described was followed by predictions that were way too aggressive. In the 1960s, they said 20 years to human-level AI. After Deep Blue, they said AI would soon outperform humans at everything. After AlphaGo, they said general intelligence was right around the corner. And every time, reality took longer than the hype suggested. This is called the Gartner Hype Cycle, and AI has ridden it twice before. Peak of excitement, crash of disappointment, slow climb to actual usefulness. So where are we right now? Honestly, we are somewhere near the peak. The investment is at all-time highs. The promises are extraordinary. Some of them will come true, some will not. And here's the practical risk. Real money is being spent based on expectations that may be inflated. Companies are hiring AI teams, buying AI tools, and restructuring around AI. If some of those bets do not pay off, there will be layoffs, failed products, and wasted budgets. This does not mean AI is a bubble that will pop. It means that if you understand the hype cycle, you can make smarter decisions about when to adopt, when to wait, and when someone is selling you a fantasy. One more risk worth mentioning: survivorship bias. We only remember the breakthroughs. We forget the hundreds of AI startups that failed, the research programs that went nowhere, the products that did not work. The history of AI is littered with failures that nobody talks about. Keep that in mind the next time someone tells you their AI product will change the world. And I do not want to just talk about this in the abstract. Let me give you some specific recent examples of AI promises that did not deliver. McDonald's spent 3 years testing AI-powered drive-thru ordering with IBM. The system was supposed to speed up service and reduce errors. Instead, it struggled with accents, took orders from the wrong cars, and recommended bizarre food combinations. In 2024, McDonald's pulled the plug on the entire program across more than 100 restaurants. IBM Watson Health was supposed to revolutionize cancer treatment. IBM invested billions and promised that Watson could analyze medical literature and recommend personalized treatment plans better than human doctors. But the system struggled with the complexity of real-world medicine. It made unsafe treatment recommendations. Hospitals that adopted it grew frustrated. IBM eventually sold off Watson Health in 2022, years after the hype had faded. Zillow Offers used AI algorithms to buy and flip homes. The AI was supposed to predict home prices better than human experts. Instead, the models overestimated values in a shifting market. Zillow ended up buying thousands of homes for more than they were worth. The company shut down Zillow Offers in 2021, took a write-down of more than $500 million, and laid off about 2,000 employees. Volkswagen created a software division called Cariad to build a unified AI-driven operating system for all 12 of its brands. They tried to replace legacy systems, built custom AI, and design proprietary hardware all at once. The result was a 20 million line codebase riddled with bugs. It delayed the Porsche Macan Electric and Audi Q6 e-tron by over a year and led to 1,600 job cuts. Babylon Health promised AI-powered medical diagnosis that could replace a trip to the doctor. The company went public, reached a valuation of over $4 billion, and then collapsed. The AI chatbot gave inconsistent medical advice, regulators raised concerns, and the company eventually went bankrupt in 2023. And then there was the Humane AI Pin, a wearable AI device backed by $230 million in funding. It was supposed to replace your smartphone. When it launched in 2024, reviewers found it was slow, inaccurate, and the battery lasted about 2 hours. Humane sold its assets to HP for $116 million and shut down the product entirely. Every customer's device was bricked. Now, here is what is important. These failures were not random. When you line them up, clear patterns emerge. Pattern 1, hallucinations. AI systems generate confident, authoritative output that is simply wrong. The AI does not know it is wrong. It has no concept of accuracy. It just predicts the next most likely output. Pattern 2, bias in training data. Zillow's models were trained on historical housing data that did not account for a market that was shifting in real time. If your data is incomplete, outdated, or skewed, your AI will reproduce those blind spots at scale. Pattern 3, premature deployment. McDonald's rolled out before the accuracy was acceptable. Humane launched a $700 product that could not reliably set a timer. The pressure to ship fast, to show investors progress, pushes companies to deploy before the technology is ready. Pattern 4, fragile integrations. When the AI made a mistake, there were no guardrails, no human in the loop, no graceful fallback. The failure did not just affect the AI, it cascaded through the entire system. These 4 patterns explain the vast majority of real-world AI failures. The verdict, this time, is different, but not as different as the hype says. The breakthroughs are real. The technology is genuinely more capable than ever before. But we are in the peak hype phase, and history tells us that some of the promises being made right now will not materialize. The smart move is to be excited but skeptical. Adopt what works today. Question what is promised for tomorrow. And remember what we just walked through. McDonald's, IBM, Watson Health, Zillow, Volkswagen, Babylon Health, Humane. These were billion-dollar bets, and they still failed. Not because AI is useless, but because the gap between what AI can do in a demo and what AI can do reliably in the real world is still enormous. That gap is the risk. The history of AI is not just a story about breakthroughs. It is a story about what happens when excitement outpaces reality. This week, here's what I want you to do. 1. The next time you see a headline about an AI breakthrough, ask yourself where it falls on the hype cycle. Is this a real product people are using today, or a research demo that might work in 5 years? 2. Google the term AI winter. Read one article about it. Understanding the pattern protects you from bad predictions. 3. Think about one AI tool you are already using that genuinely saves you time. That is the plateau of productivity. That is the real stuff. Next week, we are going inside the technology that started this whole wave. How does ChatGPT actually work? Not the marketing version, the real mechanics, tokens, training data, prediction. And I am going to show you exactly why it sometimes makes things up. That is episode 3 of Promise and Risk of AI. If this episode helped you see the pattern behind the hype, hit subscribe. And in the comments, tell me which of those AI failures surprised you the most. I read every single comment. See you next week. Thank you for watching.